And it's Sophie. Welcome to the Crying in My Pillow podcast.
We're here to discuss our teenage struggles on a day-to-day basis.
Now grab a box of tissues, your favorite pillow, and some snacks, and let's get into it.
Hey guys, today is our final podcast, and it's a bittersweet moment because we also graduate next week.
You graduate next week. We're stuck here for 2 more years.
Okay. Point being, today's topic is going to be about change, and it's kind of something we decided on, obviously, with graduating and everything coming up, graduation coming up, and even though they're stuck here, they're going to have some friends that are going to be leaving, and we're just going to get on the topic about change and how it impacts us. So.
Yeah, and I feel like right now when you're in high school, it's the end of the year, like you're just holding on to those moments, like the little moments of like waving at someone as they drive by you, or somebody yelling your name down the hallway, going to your favorite teacher's classroom just to rant, like because they had a free period. Like it's all going to be different next year. And for you, you're never going to be a high school student again after next Monday.
Well, we still have finals. So my last day is Wednesday. But yeah, definitely walking, like next week is my last time walking in Alina Central as a high school student. And well, technically, till I walk across the stage.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, that's definitely a terrifying thought to me, is that, you know, we've always not had our hand being held, but not really. Like, we got to make our own decisions and everything, but it was always like the same routine. Like, you got school next year, you have the summer to do what you want, and then you have school next year. And that's the same way kind of right now, but it's college is completely different. Like, I'm on my own with that. I'm moving away from my family and my hometown and starting a new chapter in my life, and that's terrifying to me, but I'm excited.
You've had the same routine for 12 years, you know? Every August, you start school again, 8 to 3 o'clock, you're here, you go home, do whatever you do at home. Monday through Friday, 8 to 3, you're here. And normally May, right, you get out, but I guess this year we're lucky and we get June, not you, but us. But, you know, it's...
There's a blooper for you guys. One last one.
It's always the same though, and now you have to go figure out life on your own. You have to go make mistakes, but it's okay to make mistakes. No, you're going to make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, then you're not really
learn.
living.
I know, but it's still like, if you make a mistake, like usually you have, I will say this, you usually have adult counseling. Like, if you make a mistake, you talk to somebody, an adult. But when you are the adult, that whole thing changes. You got all this stuff to figure out. Like, you're a big kid now. Like, even making doctor's appointments. Do you know how complicated that is? Like,
It's really scary.
it really is. Like, I've made a few, and just talking on the phone, like, I have bad anxiety just talking on the phone with, like, ordering a pizza or something.
Oh my god, I got asked for my social... I was trying to get my fishing license, and they asked me my social security number. I was like, oh. Am I supposed to know that?
I don't know it yet either. That's a problem.
But we put it in, and like into the system, and they couldn't find me, so I guess I'm not born. That's just a little side story. Walmart couldn't find my birth.
But I will say, for all of us seniors, we wanted to make this last episode kind of more relatable than any other topic we've covered, because I know we all are scared. Even the machos who are like, I'm not worried about anything, I know that they're all getting closer and closer. They're like, holy cow, like, I'm not going to see the same people I see every day, and that's scaring them, and it's scaring me, and it's scaring all of us seniors. But we're excited for the change, but at the same time, it's never going to be the normal again, and change is definitely something that you have to get accustomed to.
Right. And like with going to college, you're moving, and
that can be moving to college, that can be moving to a different town, a new school, like anything. And that can be hard for a lot of people, especially if you're not very good at making new friends because you're going to be leaving them in most circumstances.
And it's starting all over again. Like, I moved here my freshman year, and that change was like, I went from a private school to a public school to completely moving from my hometown of 13 years to moving to someplace I had never even heard of. And that was a huge change in my life and it was one of the best decisions like I ever had to go through because I made amazing friends, amazing memories. But definitely during that time, I was terrified, I was scared, and honestly, I don't want to have to go through that again, but the fact is, like, I look back at that and I'm like, I'm doing okay now. And I know, like, I'll look back at this in 4 years and be like, you did okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's scary, but you're going to be okay.
And I'm like a sentimentalist, and I'm currently moving out of like my childhood home. I have lived in 2 other houses technically, but I was too young to really remember it. But I've lived in this house for like over 8 years. I remember putting stickers all over the window just because I thought it was a cute decoration. My mom yelling at me, mad. And, just moving to a new place, like even though I'll still be at the same school, it's hard to just know that like I'm never going to decorate for Christmas there again, I'm not going to, like, people won't just drive out of my house randomly and just pull up at my house and just be like, hey Sophie, and just talk to me because everyone knows where I live. Like, oh yeah, I know where you live. Oh my god, that's your house. I love that house. And I'm just like, oh thanks, that's my home. And even though something that I've come to terms with recently is that even though I'm moving, and even though like all you people who are going to college or getting your first apartment, that place will still be your home. That will always be my childhood home. And you just have a new home. And it doesn't even have to be home. You don't have to make it your home. It's just where you live. And your home will always be where you feel like home.
Yeah. And that can be with people, that can be with, because a lot of times the house doesn't make it a home. It's the people and the memories there that you've made there that makes you so attached to it. Because I still consider down home, as I say, my hometown where I'm from, I still consider that home, even though I've lived here and I love the people here. That my hometown was the places I made so many memories with, and I don't think that will ever change. But as we grow up and stuff, there's going to be new places that are home to us.
Right. And that you kind of mentioned friends. Whenever you are going to college, you're going to lose friends. I know this one song by Alex Benjamin. It's called Older, and it's like I'm taking down my posters. My childhood is over. I'm telling all my friends we'll get together next October. You just kind of have those words like I'll see you again, we'll still talk, and it's just like everyone says that, and so like deep down that's not gonna happen, and it's hard to think about. It's hard to think that you could never speak to someone who you would speak to every single day throughout high school, and that's like there's nothing you can do about it sometimes, though. You can always just like, I'm just gonna try, but life gets in the way, school gets in the way, new friends get in the way.
You get busy and things, you move on, and it's a bittersweet moment because you realize that they were part of that chapter of my life to make me the person I am for that chapter in my life. But now it's time to move on. It's time to start anew. And I think that scares everybody. So,
like the thought of just not having my best friends by me every day, like that scares me so much. And I don't know.
Because we get each other through everything. Like, there is a certain person, each person at the school, like in my senior class, that I would go to for a certain thing that I needed to talk to them about. Like if there was something that was on my mind and I would go to each person differently for something certain. Because even though, like, we all don't get along sometimes, we're still here. We're a big family. Like, siblings fight, and that's how it is here. Siblings will fight, but in the end, we know that we'll each have each other's back, and we'll each, like, come together in a time of need.
Yeah, it's like one big family.
Yeah.
And the thing with, like, I have one friend that's like a brother to me, and he just graduated, and just like the thought of like not getting to see him whenever I wanted, or just be like, hey, let's get Dairyville, or you know, like a, hey, I'm bored, let's go do something like drive around town for no purpose and waste gas, even though gas prices are high.
Ridiculous? Yeah.
But that kind of goes with like, that's life. Not, you know, change. Nobody likes it, and sadly, we all have to go through it at some point.
The circle of life.
Yeah. Yep. And then I know you're getting a new job, right? Once you go.
Yes, I'm lucky enough to be able to transfer to the job that I have now. There's another workforce that has the same employment, so I get to work with not the same people, but my bosses are the same. So I still get to see them, and they're like family to me. So being able to see them still gives me kind of the sense of being home. But it definitely, like, it's just like going to a new school. Like, you're in a new work environment, you're coming into, I guess, somebody else's territory. Like, and of course you're gonna be praying for people, putting it that way, because they're gonna I remember working, like, when I first started my job that I have now, and that's how it was. It wasn't like bullying, but it definitely was like, we worked here longer than you, we know more than you. Well, that might not be true. You might have worked here longer than I have, because I just started here, but I've worked this job longer than you.
And when you start a new job, you're just scared, you know? What if it's not the right job? What if I'm absolutely going to hate this? What
And
if
do I want to wake up every morning hating the fact that I have to go to this job?
Mm-hmm. And that's not something you should do at all.
No. And you definitely...
But that's okay to do that. If you wake up one morning, like if you wake up for a week and you just absolutely hate your job, and you know you don't like it, go find something new that you like.
Don't be a people pleaser when it comes to that. I have to preach that, because when people are like, well, I want to stay in this job because it pays good, but I hate it. Like, no, don't do that, because then you're just going to ruin the work environment for other people because you hate being there. You're going to be crabby all the time. And if you're just in it for the money, then it's not really living. Like, I'd rather work a job that I love doing and get paid, like, a decent amount compared to, like, getting a lot more and absolutely hating my job, absolutely hating my life. So, don't do that.
With all of that, you have to kind of start a new routine. Like, every year, you kind of, like, when you're still in high school, it's kind of a new routine. You have new classes, sometimes new people, but, like, for heaven, it's going to be a completely new thing, and that can be hard to get used to.
Yeah. Gotta make a plan, and gotta stick with the plan. I've always been like, not, I want to say freestyler, but that's not the word. Like, just kind of go for it person. Like, don't stress about it. Don't cause stress on yourself. Like, don't freak out about something that has happened today. What?
I'm so different. I know Karen's the same way.
no.
Like, I have everything planned out to the detail. Okay, I'm going to start a new routine tomorrow. I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. At 6:10, I'm going to get out of bed at 6:05.
You don't got time for that in college. I mean, you might, but I'm not.
No, I think at first I like the idea of having a routine, but
But
like,
it
doesn't happen.
It doesn't
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah, and then, as I was saying, yeah, I'm definitely like, don't stress about something that is tomorrow when you have to finish today. Like, there's no point to stressing about it. It will get done. It all works out in the end. I've tried the planning thing. It never, ever works out for me. I procrastinate too much. So then obviously I'm just like, you know what, we're just going for it. You're obviously more like, have you seen your notebooks and stuff? Obviously more put together than I am, but I'm still over here surviving, Sophie.
But that's like, I remember whenever I first started like my bullet journals and stuff, that was a huge change to me because I was having to write down everything I have assignments in all these classes. I'd write it all down, and that's like a huge change that you have coming into high school for like any 8th graders listening. Nobody's mean, like not here, like nobody's really mean. Just don't do anything to upset certain people. But as long as like you do what you're supposed to do, you do your schoolwork. High school is not that hard. At least your freshman year isn't that hard.
Don't procrastinate your freshman year. If I could give anybody advice, do not procrastinate your freshman year. Just because you have 3 other years to complete stuff, you procrastinate, that's going to put you so behind. Like, preach that. Preach that to your friends. And then also with going up back onto, because we kind of got a little sidetracked, going back onto routine, we were talking about, the other day we were talking about how a simple routine could be like you doing something in the hall with a friend. I have a routine with one of my friends where I walk her to her second hour class every single day. And it could be just, every single time you drive past a certain place, this person's outside, and then they give you a thumbs up or something like that. And with the seniors, I know a lot of us seniors have routines with certain friends, and those routines aren't going to happen anymore. And not only is it going to be hard for our seniors, but I know it's going to be hard for you lowerclassmen, because that's not, like, every time you go to do it now, like, your mind's going to go to it, because my mind already does that. So.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is kind of the wrap up to the episode, but like just thinking back that like one day that like the 3 of us put so much like work and thought into this, and maybe one day we'll listen to this again and we'll be like, listen to our high school selves.
Yeah, I think we need to listen back at this in like 5 years, come back to it, and then we should make like another one, just a trilogy.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna accomplish Sophie's dreams of making us famous. We're gonna restart this podcast, so see y'all in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
No,
New York.
Oh,
No.
okay. No, okay. But I think that wraps up today's podcast.
Hold up. I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm not done yet.
My
I need
bad.
to quote Phil Dunphy, okay? If you know who Phil Dunphy is, he's from Modern Family, and he's the best guy ever. I was watching an episode today, and he said that, and I was like, this is kind of perfect. He said, "It's going to be tough to say goodbye. It always is. Nobody loves change. But part of life is learning to let things go."
And that's true.
Nice words from dad jokes. But I think now you can close
Now
the
we
episode.
can conclude it. Well, I don't know if I want to, because this is definitely one of the best memories I've made with you girls, and definitely going to be so sad. When yesterday I was a crying mess, I'm not even gonna lie, because we're done with this. This is the end, and
thank you to everyone who listened into this. That way we can post more than one episode.
we didn't get to where we wanted to, but I think we definitely got to.
I'm proud of what we did.
Yeah.
We stuck to it, and someone listened to us, and that's the bell.
Nice.
And I think that means that
They're cutting us off. Okay.
Yeah. That concludes our final podcast episode for Crying in My Pillow podcast. And
I'm gonna go cry my pillow now. Adios.
see you guys later.